What up? What up? What up, good people? This is your boy, Cool McCain. As you can see, I'm flying solo, but it's all good. I'm here to ride the wave with y'all as we see the court side from our view. I'm gonna start things off real simple because we had a lot of trades that went down this week, right? We don't need to go into a lot of detail with them, but I do want to cover those said trades that did occur. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna go back here in the way back machine, not just February 7th, but we're gonna slide on back a little further for you. We're gonna go all the way back to February the 1st. And that's where we're gonna pick up the trades. All right. So as you know, you guys are able to hop in, check us out, see the show, whether you're seeing a replay, whether you're checking it out live, man. Definitely appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, youtube.com/at Sports Wave Network. All of the shows that you see your boy Cool McCain on, right down now. That's where you can find all of my different content. So we're gonna dig into it tonight. We're gonna start with the trades. We're gonna run through a few other things as well, and we're gonna get up out of here because that's how we do. That's how we get down. So the Houston Rockets started things off February 1st. They made a trade. They traded Victor Oladipo, who yes is still in the league, and 3 second-round picks to the Grizzlies for Steven Adams. So many might ask why, right? Well, you got to remember one, Ja Morant is out for the rest of the season. Oladipo, when given the opportunity, is a guy that normally can put up points when he's a volume shooter. Well, in the current situation for the team, he's going to be a volume shooter. So, not a bad move at all. All right, the next trade we're going to quickly discuss, and this is for both teams. And let me explain why before I move on. Let me be fair here. The Rockets, you get a guy, Steven Adams. He's not the same player he was 4 or 5 years ago. We understand that. We know that. We realize that. We recognize that. But still a veteran. Something else you can add to a team that can use it.
Now,
King is in the building.
how you
What
just
up,
gonna
King?
have a party without me? Like, you didn't say, "Hey, Kim, going on?" Like, come on.
Y'all know how I am. That's the only argument I got is y'all know how I am. So Key, going through the trades.
Oh
We
God.
started we starting all the way back on February 1st. Rockets, Grizzlies. Steven Adams gets traded to the Rockets. The Grizzlies get Victor Oladipo, 3 second-round picks. What I was just saying is the Oladipo move makes sense. He's a volume shooter. He's gonna have the ability and the opportunity to put up a lot of shots in Memphis the rest of this year. The Rockets get Steven Adams, which is where I was basically at when you slide it in. I'm just saying, like, veteran presence, veteran leadership, but got to show some of those young guys how to be a pro. Another voice of reason in the locker room, another valuable guy in small spurts that can help this team, be successful and kind of get back to where they were early in the season. So I think it's a good move for both teams based on what they need at the current time.
Is Steven Adams even gonna play this year?
I thought he was gonna play because they have to be able to pass the physical to be traded.
I think he was still injured. I don't know. That's how I was like. I thought he was injured. How is he getting traded injured?
Yeah, I think
But
you have to be able to pass the physical. So maybe it's
but
close to a return.
but Steven Adams is a good veteran presence. He's been in the game for a long time. He's nobody to mess around with either. I don't want to get in a fight with Steven Adams. He can get you some rebounds. He's not a real big scorer, but he is a good defensive presence. Um, I like it.
Yeah, he's been playing.
Okay. I didn't know if he was back or not.
Actually, that might be last year's stats. He's got to be close to being back, from my understanding, for them to be able to trade him. Like, he may not be all the way back, but he's at least at the point where he can clear the physical, or they shouldn't be able to trade him.
Right.
But either way, Even if he can't see the court, I'll put it like this: even if he can't see the court, the leadership and things that he can bring, the veteran leadership, would make sense for that team.
Fact.
All right, and then February 7th, the Boston Celtics got Xavier Tillman. The Memphis Grizzlies got Lamar Stevens and a 2027 second round pick from the Hawks and a 2030 second round pick from the Mavs.
I mean, Xavier Tillman. I mean, it's a good pickup for the bench. A good big man. I know he played some good minutes in Charlotte. I mean, not Charlotte. Memphis. When he was in that playoff run.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but no, it's a good solid pickup.
And you always need guys that can give you 10, 15 minutes a game in the post, right? And then you have games where you might get someone in foul trouble and you need a guy that, may not play a lot of minutes, but to step up. So it never hurts to try to get you about two or three of those guys that can be backup four or fives for those situations that they happen, injury, somebody get kicked out of the game. We got this whole load management thing. You want to have enough, big bodies in there. So it makes sense from that standpoint for Boston. And their team is always looking for bigs anyway. And then
Yep.
for the Grizzlies, Lamar Stevens, 2 second round picks. Neither move is a needle mover, but maybe you can package those 2 second round picks together and maybe slide into the end of the first round or higher up in the second round if somebody falls that you really want. So it's always good to have some flexibility. And as we'll see as we go through these picks, people are really into getting multiple second round picks.
I mean, the second round is just like the NFL, the diamonds in the rough type. So the second round, that's where that's where your diamonds are. So second round picks is where the stars be at.
That could be true at times. I mean, honestly, I don't feel like most teams care about the second round, but I feel like if you have a department that's really thorough and really looks at things and really goes through and pays attention to guys who may not get drafted in the first, then you can find good players in the second round. But I just feel like as a whole, the league, the teams really don't care about the second round. But I do agree with what you're saying. Um, our next trade, the Wolves uh, traded for Monte Morris, and the Pistons received Troy Brown, Shake Milton, and a 2030 second round pick. What's funny is you remember that Shake Milton was supposed to be one of the good solid core players in the future for the 76ers.
You know what happened? Doc ain't play him not a lick in the playoff. That's what happened, and he rolled out.
Yep. Now my man is in the Pistons. I know his check will be glad when his contract over. And then Troy Brown. I mean, like you go from the Timberwolves to the Pistons, bro. That's a slap in the face. Like
It is.
I'm a player, you know what I'm saying? And then the Pistons also got a 2030 second round pick. So to the Timberwolves, Monte Morris was worth Troy Brown, Shake Milton, and a 2030 second round pick. So that's a lot. For
20,
Monte
30
Morris.
second. Go Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
That's so far.
Right. But that gives Minnesota a chance to be bad again. That's what
It's
you'd be
true.
hoping for when you make those future picks like that. All right. And then February 8th. So yesterday, the Pistons also acquired Simone Fontecchio.
I don't even know who that is. I ain't even gonna hold you.
And the Jazz received Kevin Knox, a future second round pick, and the rights to Gabriel Procida. So to me, this is one of those we don't want Kevin Knox. He's that bad. The Pistons shipping him out. They bringing in Fontecchio, who probably on probably last year the contract, just getting some money off the books, setting things up to see what they can have a little money for next year, and you just give up a second round pick and the rights to Gabriel Procida, who may never come over here and play. So I think it accomplishes the goal for both teams. It's not really anything that's going to be newsworthy or make a big difference for either team this year, but it makes sense for both teams moving forward.
Yep.
All right, and next we got the Pacers acquiring Corey Joseph, a 2025 second round pick via Charlotte, which means it's going to be a good pick because Charlotte's going to be bad in 2025 too, and
Mm-hmm.
cash considerations. And the Warriors get a 2024 second round pick.
Okay. A role player that the Warriors didn't need or want, so they shipped them. Okay, not
Yep.
bad.
And then in return, they got a 2024 second round pick. They also sent a little money with him, like, here go the money to pay him. We just need him off the books. And
Yep.
then a second round pick in 2025. So the Pacers, I think, got a decent return on that.
Yeah.
All right. And then we have the 76ers. They trade Daniel House,
Christ.
a 2024 second round pick, and cash considerations for a 2028 second round pick.
It's
This
all about
screams we got to get rid of some money.
it's all about the picks.
Yeah. And get rid of some money.
Well, they ain't moving the needle this year with the picks they did.
So, for those of
Upset.
you who may not be aware, I don't know how you wouldn't be aware, but in case you're not, Key is a fan of the 76ers.
Yeah. Getting blown out by the Hawks right now. Um, I don't even know if we gonna be in the playoffs the way we slide. We might be a playing team. It's I can't say it's bad. It's we got hit with the injury bug, especially with Joel and then other key players. Maxie not playing, Batum and Covington. They out like. But then Daryl Morey decides he wants to trade Buddy for Buddy Hield. Okay, I'm okay with that. We needed some more shooting. We got it with Buddy Hield. But you trade the best defender that we have, knowing that Drew Holiday got traded to Boston, was their best defender in Milwaukee, and that's where you want to send Pat Bev to Milwaukee? You sending them to the ops. You're sending them to the ops. You just help them get better. And who do we get in return? Cameron Payne.
Well, I mean, since you brought it up, we'll go ahead and slide to that one and we'll come back to the list. So, the trade that she's referring to is the Bucks traded for Patrick Beverly. And the 76ers got Cameron Payne and a 2027 second round pick. So when I look at both teams, I really don't understand the move when I first look at it. But then when I look deeper, I understand the move based on some other things that the 76ers did, right? You get in campaign, who gives you a little bit more offensively. You definitely lose some defensively, but the 76ers are in a mode right now where they need scoring punch, right? So it makes sense to go get a guy like Campaign who can come in your second unit, can run it, can do some things and can give you more of an offensive punch. For the Bucks, Bev, he's the dog they're missing. They haven't had one in the last few years.
I mean, you got Bobby Portis.
They haven't had one in the last few years. Bobby's like he's like a new school enforcer. Like he'll talk a little trash, but he ain't really gonna do nothing.
Ain't Jay Crowder back?
Jay Crowder's a whole different person on the Bucks. This is not the Jay Crowder we know from the Heat.
Mm-hmm.
This is a different guy. But Pat Bev, I think he's gonna bring that a little bit of crazy to him that they've been missing.
Pat Bev was just a perfect fit for Philly. Like he had the grit, the heart. He didn't care, and then you just trade him. Sad.
Now he's the perfect fit for Milwaukee. But y'all did this before with a guy you got, right? You got PJ Tucker from us and did this.
Oh, you see how that got us? PJ was gone. Now PJ went out of LA. PJ ain't the same PJ Tucker no more. He's not that lights out 3-point corner shooter no more.
When was he lights out? He ain't been lights out since before he was with the Bucks.
True. Houston days, he was killing it in Houston.
Yeah, but that was years ago. Even when he won a championship with the Bucks, PJ scoring anything offensively was a bonus. He was out there to play defense and rebound and hustle. He was not out there for the offensive,
Right.
saying, skill set. So if that's what you want from him, that's the wrong guy.
Yeah.
right, so we'll slide back down here to Raptors. Get Kelly Olynyk and Ochai Agbaji. The Jazz receive Otto Porter Jr., Kira Lewis, 2024 first round pick. What this tells me is the Jazz wanted another first round pick, right? Because they love to acquire first round picks like OKC.
Danny
Otto Porter
Ainge,
Jr.
man.
Yeah, Otto Porter Jr. and Kira Lewis are two guys that they're role players. They're role players. Olenek, he's a guy that can step in, do some things for you. Versatile, can play the 4 or the 5. He's tough. He'll play hard. Doesn't have the greatest skill set, but he plays. Agbaji, I mean, another role player. What are your thoughts, Key?
I mean, Utah's gonna be, trading those picks, getting those picks. Is Danny Ainge, he don't be playing no games. You see what he got for Rudy Gobert, a haul. So I mean, he's smart in the front office. So role players is what he got and some picks for it. Got leverage, in case he wants to trade or try to acquire somebody. He got more assets.
He does love to do that. He does love to do that. All right. In a head scratcher part two. Now, I say head scratcher part two because part one was when the Bucks signed Robin Lopez, but in head scratcher part two, they trade him to the Kings with cash considerations for the draft rights to Demetrios Agravanis. Um, the only thing you can say about this is they clearly did not feel like Robin Lopez was worth the money they were paying him, and
Nope.
I
A
think they're
lot of
paying
these,
him
a lot of
a
these players are
better
gonna be
minimum.
buyouts.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, the Mavs get Daniel Gafford, solid big man. I
That's
don't
a
know
good
what.
pickup
Yeah.
because the
So,
the Mavs needed some help with some big men, and Gafford's pretty solid.
yep. And the Wizards get Rashawn Holmes and a 2024 first round pick.
Can we free Titus Jones from Washington, please? Can we get Kyle Kuzma out of there? Nobody want to play with Jordan Poole.
Not this year. We can get Jordan. They probably get Jordan Poole out after this season. But the 2024 first round pick is from the Mavs, but it's via the Thunder. So it'll be the
Mm,
Thunder's 2024 first round pick, which right now that's gonna be a very low first round pick.
yeah,
But still a first
Thunder,
round pick. It's
Thunder's
still
actually
something.
pretty good this year.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're the Mavs, you're pretty good. And the Thunder, that's two first round picks in 2024. So you can take them two first round picks and you can make some moves up the board to get somebody that you may want to acquire. So still a good
Hmm.
move. We thinking long term. All right. So the Blazers trade for Delano Banton and cash considerations, and the Celtics receive a protected second round pick. So when I see protected second round pick, I'm like, what does that mean? You know what I'm saying? Is that a second round pick 5 years later if that doesn't convey? Is it some cash considerations? You know what I'm saying? Is it a second round pick swap down the road? Like what does
Right.
a protected second round pick mean? Because we know it's protected second round picks is two first round picks. But you can't do a protected second round pick being two second round picks. There's no third round. So I always just wonder that when I see that. Don't see it much, but every once in a while we see it. But as for the trade itself, the Celtics got a roster spot pretty much. And the Blazers traded a second round pick to for a guy that they don't even pretty much probably have to pay because I'm pretty sure the Blazers sit the rest of the salary with him.
Yep, pretty much.
All right. And then the Celtics get Jaden Springer from the 76ers.
Again, why are we trading with the ops?
And then the 76ers get a 2024 second round pick. So, Key, you're a Sixers fan. Jaden Springer on the Sixers. Was that just not working out to the point where this was a good deal for them?
Jaden Springer was an up and coming youngster.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he got some flashes. He can get better over time with shooting. He's a great defender. Another guy that's a hell of a defender because he gets about 2 blocks a game when he's in there for a guard. So he's a good defender. He can steal. He can get you flashes. He can shoot the three a little bit. So it's just like I don't know if his just wasn't setting the cards long term here. I just don't know. But that's the thing. That's what's wrong with Philly. Period. I'm just not gonna say the Sixers. Philly. Period. They don't want to develop. nobody homegrown and let him stay. I guess Joe. I guess you could say Joel maybe because he's been here since beginning. But talking about like guard wise, I mean, what AI? That's the last person I could think of who was here long term that was household name. So, but yeah, we. I mean, give him time. Ooh, excuse me. He probably could have worked with him, but it is what it is. Now, if he goes to Boston and shine, I'm gonna be upset.
Well, now Boston has a backup that can play with some defensive intensity, which is something that they needed as well. So trading with the ops, like you say.
Trade going trade to a team that's beaten us 99 times in the second round of the playoffs that we can't beat, but you gonna give them another asset? Makes
Yeah,
no sense, Daryl Morey.
99 times. So another interesting pick swap. Dallas Mavs get a 2024 first round pick from the Thunder, and the Thunder receive a 2028 first round pick swap. So basically, the Thunder are saying that we believe by 2028, y'all gonna stink and we're not. So we're going to trade you our first round pick for a pick swap so we can move to a better position for one of our five picks in the 2028 first round. Because we know the Thunder got like four picks in every draft.
Yeah, that's all that was.
Yeah, short and sweet. We talked about Bev to the Bucks. So we got a couple of trades here that could be actually interesting. I know we went through a couple of y'all that you like, oh, whatever. What's the point? We just want to talk about like some of the things that's happening because some things it's about the money, it's about some different things, and not necessarily just what's happening right then, right? So we got a couple of comments. Take those real quick. So Damien in the building, Damien says Bobby Portis is like that one kid who sat alone at the back of the school bus. And then he also says, "Hey, Magic, y'all can have Vooch back. Yeah, we'll take a bag of flaming hots and Twinkies for him at this point."
Yeah, he don't like Vooch no more.
I could tell. I could tell. But hey, you know how all that goes. So the Nets got Dennis Schroeder and Thaddeus Young. The Raptors got Spencer Dinwiddie. I like it for both teams because Thaddeus Young, he's not a great player, but again,
Hey
a
God,
guy,
he's still playing. It's like
yeah,
I remember
he's
he was
still
on the
playing.
Sixers.
He's playing, but he's a guy that if you need somebody to play 5-10 minutes a game, you throw him in there. You know, he got six fouls. He can give away a couple of rebounds, a couple of hustle plays, and then Schroeder just wasn't really to me fitting in Toronto. So I think the move was good for him to get him somewhere like the Nets where he can play more free flowing young team, kind of play a little different, have different expectations. And Dinwiddie to me is he's a guy that he moves around too much, but it's solid everywhere he goes. Not great, but solid.
Right. Dinwiddie wanted to get out of the Nets anyway. I feel like the Nets wasn't using him right anyway. I mean, Dinwiddie is still serviceable. Um, so Toronto could, see good for his services. Um, so and then Schroeder going to where he go? Brooklyn.
Yep. Brooklyn, Brooklyn.
That
Yes,
can, I mean,
ma'am.
that can help a little bit. I mean, Schroeder's still a good serviceable point guard as well. He can still give you some buckets. He can still defend. I mean, Schroeder's not bad. Neither team ain't going nowhere, so it don't matter.
Tell them how you really feel.
But it's good though. I know we're gonna talk about the Knicks.
Oh yeah, that's actually next. So right now, the New York Knickerbockers traded for Alec Burks and Bojan Bogdanovic. They then sent Evan Fournier, Malachi Flynn, Quentin Grimes, Ryan Arcidiacono, two future
Arthur
second round
Diacono.
picks. Yeah, however you say that. Two
Sorry, it's a
future
Nova
second
guy.
round picks and cash considerations to the Pistons. So your thoughts on that trade, Key? Because I know this is one that we're talking
Wasn't Cameron Grimes the one that the Knicks said they wasn't gonna give up for Donovan Mitchell, but then you give him up for not say pennies, but then you give them up for Burke and Bogdanovich. Y'all could have had Donovan Mitchell, but y'all didn't want to give it Cameron Grimes, Quentin Grimes, but now y'all just shipped them off anyway. But the Knicks are trying to go all in. The Knicks are hot right now. They're a good team. They got Burks back. He's back in New York. He was solid for New York. Good role player. Can shoot three and D guy. Then you Bojan Bogdanovich. So many of y'all Bogdanoviches in the league. But he still can shoot the three. So Knicks just picked up more scoring on the second unit. Or Bogdanovich can start too if you really wanted him to. But um, Brunson's balling, Josh Hart's balling, uh, DiVincenzo. That the Knicks team is just watch out. How far would they go? It's up to the Knicks how far they would go, but they're
So
looking great right now.
they traded for Ananobi, right?
Yep, and he's hurt.
And he's hurt. So I think that's another reason why they got Bogdanovich is because
Mhm.
that injury. You want to have somebody at least for the regular season who can still come in and give you 20 to 25 points a game any given week.
Yep, and I agree with Mo. The Knicks will be a top three team in the East with the Sixers dropping in the standings.
So we got a couple of comments over here. We'll come back to those. Mo says, guys, what up, Mo? Damian says 76ers got 99 problems and James Harden and Ben Simmons ain't one of them. Not no more.
Fact.
Still got 99 though. Mo says, Dad's still in the league. Salary dump. Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. Nets won't make the playoffs, so it's a nothing pickup. Can't argue with that either. Mo says Knicks will be a top three team in the East with the Sixers dropping in the standings, which Kia agreed with. And then Damien says, question, what's y'all thoughts on NCAA thinking about having a workers union for these student athletes with NIL deals?
You knew eventually that the NCAA was going to figure out a way for this NIL not to spark how it is, because you got football players staying 9 years in college. Give it up, bro. Give it up. 9 years. Why are you 99 years old still playing college basketball or playing football? So I knew they would try to cap it at some point or try to regulate it or take control of it. I knew it was coming. So.
Well, the thing is, who you got to have a deciding body. Like who would be the decision maker? I don't know what y'all. My 80 feel like I just can't get my hat right. You know, if you can't get your hat right, you just ain't right. But who would be in control of making a decision if this goes into fruition or not? Because to me, that's who you would be looking at. Because a workers' union, it doesn't really seem like it's going to solve anything. First opinion, doesn't seem like something capable of solving anything. So no point in really doing that. So that's my thoughts on doing something like that. It's just no value in it. All right, and then my only thoughts on the Knicks trade, like I said, Bogdanovich, he can provide some of that punch that they might use and need throughout the remainder of the regular season. So he's doing what he needs to do. That's all you can really ask for in that situation.
And word is, well, I was reading today that Daryl Morey, back on my Sixers, decided not to trade Tobias Harris to Detroit. We could have had Alec Burke back and Bojan, but no. Okay.
Tell him how you really feel.
Daryl Morey already knows how I feel because he knows I will come down to New Jersey because that's where the office is and bomb his office up.
Okay. Well, we're going to start with the Hornets turning into sellers here. So the Hornets trade Gordon Hayward to the Oklahoma City Thunder, and they receive Vasily Micic, Trey Mann, Davis Bertrands, a 2024 second-round pick that's going to come from the Rockets, and a 2025 second-round pick from the 76ers.
David Bertans stinks, so in my opinion, he's hit or miss when it comes to shooting.
the whole Hornets team stinks. So
This is true.
this is
Melo got to get out of
basically
there.
well, it's basically getting guys. The Hornets are actually doing something smart. They're getting guys who are on the last year of the deal and some picks and getting rid of guys that they overpaid that don't perform. This is not a good trade for Oklahoma City because Gordon Hayward is going to be hurt tomorrow.
He's very injury prone. What?
Yes.
We only lost by 6. Sorry. He was down like 20.
All right, and the Suns add Royce O'Neal and David Roddy. The Grizzlies get a 2026 first round pick swap with the Suns, which
I like this Brady too. He's a good guy, a good energy guy to come off the bench. He can score, he can rebound, big body, he can shoot 3.
Shamize, Mitu, and Yuta Watanabe as well. The Grizzlies get, and then the Nets receive Keita Bates Diop, Jordan Goodwin, the draft rights to Vanja Marinkovic, and 3 future second round picks. So not a bad 3-team move. Everybody, I think, got something that they wanted. The Grizzlies probably felt like by 2026 the Suns would be worse than them. Hear about a pick swap would get them a higher pick. We'll see how it works out. And then we already know that the second round picks everybody seems to love. All right, so we got another 3-team deal here. We got the 76ers getting Buddy Hield. The Pacers from the Sixers got Furkan Korkmaz.
Good.
Yeah, I don't know why I said Korkmaz because he was actually on the Nuggets a couple of years ago and not a bad guy, but got to be in the right situation. Doug McDermott, also from the Spurs, a 2024 second round pick for the Raptors, a 2029 second round pick for the Blazers, and cash considerations. The Spurs get Marcus Morris, a 2029 second round pick via the Clippers, and cash considerations. So the Spurs get rid of a guy, Doug McDermott, who couldn't get it done there because they didn't have enough other pieces to give him open shots and allow him to just be a spot shooter. Mm-hmm. So he gets to a place in Indiana where he'll be able to do that again. Buddy Hield obviously goes to the Sixers. Scoring punch, great move, I think, for the Sixers. You needed the scoring. Obviously, he's not a big defensive guy, but he will at least give you some effort on that end.
Marcus Morris is funny because we just gave him the key to the city, and he gets traded, and then now he's going to be a buyout. Korkmaz the same way. Somebody's going to buy him out. They waived him. So, but Buddy Hield definitely is a good pickup. That's the only one that that's going to fit when Joel comes back. So let's hope and pray we get everybody back and be the dominant team I know we can be before Joel got hurt.
So then another another seller move today. The Hornets trade PJ Washington, a 2024 second round pick and a 2028 second round pick to the Dallas Mavs. And in return, they receive Grant Williams, Seth Curry, and a 2027 first round pick. Masterful move, I think, from the Hornets. I'm liking what they're doing now more than I have in the past. We understand we have these guys like PJ Washington that they're not bad for us, but they'll never be a needle mover. So let's send them somewhere where they can help that team out, other conference. We're not going to see them a lot. They're not going to ever be getting between us and getting into the play-in, which should be the first goal for the Hornets. But in return, you got some solid players. Grant Williams, really good in Boston. When he got to Dallas, I feel like there were some issues there. A lot of reports about
because they had issues.
A lot of reports about his locker room. He was a good locker room guy, and he wasn't fitting on the team. He had been replaced in the starting lineup, so it makes sense to take a guy like that and remove him from your locker room. Seth Curry, back in the Carolina, started Duke from North Carolina, so getting back to this area, and then on top of it, you got a first round pick. So I think that the Hornets did really well. I think the Mavs did well in getting a guy, PJ Washington, who can help them as a 4th or 5th option. So I think it's a win-win, for both teams on that. And like I said, I see Charlotte taking the route of, hey, let's get some assets and let's get rid of some of these guys who don't help us win. So I'm all for understanding the situation that you're in and pivoting once you've been placed into said situation.
Oh, I agree with that.
And that's kind of what
Most say Grant Williams is a weirdo.
Hey, as long as he can play basketball, the Hornets fans will be happy. He could be a real weirdo.
I mean, him and Melo might kick.
They might. So
and Miles Bridges.
On these comments again. So, Damien says Daryl Murray is Triple H in Philly. Laugh out loud and yell, I'm trolling WWE. Daryl Morey is not Triple H in Philly.
Daryl Morey hell no, Daryl Morey.
The Rock Johnson.
He's shown us in Triple H because he would have made better moves.
Yeah, he's Dwayne the Rock Johnson in Philly. But that's a whole different conversation. Mo says heel matters if and when Embiid returns.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then Damien says Court Monster Bulls, aka make a move, please.
You're gonna be regretting that one, Damien. But go ahead and take one Cork Miles on your team.
Mo says Nick Sons and T Wolves all made smart moves. Fair enough. He does also say Grant Williams is a weirdo. And then Mo says he wasn't good on winning teams. There's no way it works being in NBA HE double hockey sticks. That's fair. So what we're gonna do next week is we'll talk to you guys about buyouts, where they went, everyone who's been bought out, released. So they'll give time for some other moves to happen that haven't happened yet officially, but that we feel are coming. So we'll talk about those on our next episode. So you're gonna have to turn in next week if you want to hear about that. You're gonna tune in next week. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. All right, so Key.
Yes, sir.
Let's see where we want to go from here. Let's do it this way. Who is your player of the week for the Eastern Conference and Western Conference?
Oh man. All right, let's see. I ain't really been keeping up. It's been busy for me. But just sporadically, who had somebody had I know somebody had 40 points somewhere. I'm trying to think of these games.
He said somebody had 40 points somewhere, y'all.
Donovan Mitchell, that's who it was. It was Donovan Mitchell. That's why I was like, somebody. I remember seeing somebody balled out. It was D Mitch. Donovan Mitchell balled out for the East. Like I said, I wasn't really paying attention to basketball this week. Work's been killing me, and that was the last thing I wanted to do. But I did see Donovan Mitchell go all out. He went in with the Cavs, and on the West, I don't know.
So on the West, I am going to take my boy Nikola Jokic. Jokic doing Jokic things.
Yep.
So we're gonna give him some love for that. And in the East this week, you already took Mitchell, so I'm not gonna try to go with the same guy. But even though he didn't play tonight, I'm gonna go with your guy Maxey, because Maxey has been balling. Especially with IMB, he's really stepped up. He's taken a lot of the load when he's played.
The night he found out he was going to the All-Star, he got 51. So yeah, Maxey.
Mm-hmm. All right, and we can do this, or if you want, we can roll with this next week. Top 5 rookies as of now. Your top 5 rookies as of now.
Well, it's definitely Wemby. Chet is up there. Still, I mean, if you want to consider, he's technically a rookie. Brandon Miller. I mean, he's okay for Charlotte.
Yeah.
Rookie's been balling. Like Wimby's the top. Uh, what's the name from the Heat? Jaime, was it Vasquez? He's been doing
Jaime
pretty good.
Jaquez.
The Hawkins, yeah, he's been doing pretty well for the Heat. Um, one more. Hmm.
I'm gonna clean this up for you. I got you.
Okay.
So I'm gonna start at 5, in my opinion. All right. So in my opinion, I'm gonna go with Scoot Henderson at 5.
I was gonna say Scoot.
All right. At 4, I'm gonna go with Derek Lively the second. I'm gonna go Jaime Jaquez Jr. at 3. I'm gonna go with Chet at 2, and of course Wembanyama at 1. The only other guy I would put in consideration is Brandon Miller. But the reason why I wouldn't put Brandon Miller in my top 5 is now you're playing with a bunch of scrubs. I'm no disrespect, but you're playing with a bunch of guys who really wouldn't be starting or playing on another team. So you're
Right.
getting exaggerated stats from the lower level of players that you have around you. So that's why I wouldn't put him there. But I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to be there. I'm just saying I wouldn't put him there just because of that.
It's not a bad list though. I mean, we pretty much had the similars. I forgot about Lively.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, and then let's take a look at the MVP ladder. See where things are
I seen
going
that
with
later.
the MVP. So right now, we still have Joel Embiid number 1, but we're gonna go through your
Well, we all
top
know he's not
10.
getting that.
Well, the same way he's on the ladder.
Mm-hmm.
As of now, he still is eligible. All right, number 10, we got Kawhi Leonard. Number 9, Tyrese Halliburton. Kawhi's from the Clippers. Halliburton's from the Pacers. Number 8, we got Anthony Davis from the Los Angeles Lakers. It's crazy to me.
He hasn't been in street clothes lately. He's actually been
He
playing pretty
hasn't.
well.
Just crazy to me that he's that high. Number 7, we have Domantas Sabonis from the Sacramento Kings. Number 6, we have Jason Tatum from the Boston Celtics. Now, the top 5, according to NBA.com, number 5, we have Giannis Antetokounmpo. Number 4, we have Luka Doncic. Number 3, we have SGA. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And by the way, Giannis is on the Bucks, in case you didn't know. Doncic is on the Mavs, in case you didn't know. And SGA is on the OKC, in case you didn't know, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Number 2, we got Nikola Jokic. And still number 1 in the MVP ladder is Joel Embiid. So, if he plays enough games, he still has a good shot.
I think his shot is over. He had to miss. He had to miss like the couple more games. Joel's he's done with MVPs. He can't get it. Um, who's next in line? I think Luca is next probably. Luca's been playing Luca basketball. He had that sick pass it was the last night. That joint was nice behind the back. I mean, it was spot on. Luca possibly can be MVP, or I can
Yeah.
see if SGA passes him, I can see even SGA being MVP. But I think it could be Luca though if he keeps balling the way he's balling.
Well, just so you know, as it stands, number 2 right now, it's not either of those gentlemen that you just named. Number 2 is your previous 2-time MVP, Nikola Jokic. Just saying.
I can see Joker getting it too. I mean, it's definitely going to be a heat. It's definitely going to be a race.
Yeah, he's number 2 right now. Then you got SGA at 3 and Luka at 4. And then Giannis is always around there, number 5 right now. This
Mm-hmm.
second half of the year after All-Star break is going to say a lot about who's going to really be the MVP. So I think it's a pretty tight race as of now, but that will definitely be the part that will kind of make that determination. And I believe we got some updates on All-Star weekend for the NBA. Let me see if I can
Got
relocate that.
Sabrina versus Steph. A 3-point shoot off. I know they did, for charity.
Yes, we got the celebrity game on the 16th. We do have the coaches' name for those now, as well as the players.
Shay and Stephen A.
Yeah, so we got Team Shannon. That's going to be coached by Shannon Sharp, 50 Cent, and Peyton Manning.
Oh, hell.
I would have watched. I don't want to watch just to hear that. Players, we have Annuel AA, Kai Sanat, Connor Daly, Walker Hayes, Quincy Isaiah, Joel Lloyd. Also, Micah Parsons, Lily Singh, Sir, and Dylan Wang. That's Team Shannon. Team Stephen A. Smith, or Team Stephen A. is coached by Stephen A. Smith, Toche, and Aja Wilson.
That might be interesting. That's
going to be interesting too. Now, players. We got Meta World Peace, Jack Ryan, CJ Stroud, Gianmarco Tamberi, Adam Blackstone, Natasha Cloud, Jennifer Hudson, Tristan Jazz, AJ McClain, and Kwame Onuachi.
They got J-Hub playing ball, but no, they got CJ. CJ can play basketball now to be quarterback.
Yeah, CJ can ball.
He can ball. I don't know. I might have to go with Stephen A's team.
I'm just there for the fun. You know what I'm saying? I'm just there for the fun. All right. And then the next event, we got the Rising Stars. So there's been some changes to the Rising Stars challenge as well. So we got 4 teams. We got Team Paul, Team Tamika, Team Jalen, and Team Detlef. And that's Paul Gasol, Tamika Catchings, Jalen Rose, and Detlef Shrimp.
Oh, wow.
Those are your coaches. So Team Powell is Bilal Coulibaly from the Washington Mystics, Jaime Jaquez Jr. from Miami, Brandon Miller from Charlotte, Brandon Pozinski from Golden State, Jabari Smith from Houston, Kason Wallace from OKC, and Victor Wembanyama from San Antonio. All right. Team Tamika, Paolo Banchero,
Pablo.
Paolo from Orlando, Dyson Daniels from New Orleans Pelicans, Jalen Duren from Detroit, Cavante George from Utah, Scoot Henderson from Portland, Jane Ivey from Detroit, and then Keegan Murray from Sacramento.
Okay.
Now, Team Jalen is Jordan Hawkins from New Orleans Pelicans, Chet Holmgren from OKC, Walker Kessler from Utah Jazz, Derek Lively II from Dallas, Benedict Mathurin from Indianapolis Pacers, Shaedon Sharp from Portland Trailblazers, and Jalen Williams from OKC.
Which Jalen? We don't know which Jalen Williams, do you?
From OKC, from Oklahoma City.
I know Jalen got 2.
Yeah, it doesn't say which one. It's the Jalen with the E, Jalen Williams.
Okay, I know which one it is. That's funny. That's literally how my son spells his name, and that's literally his last name. That's why I said my son's on the team. That's literally his name. I know which Jalen that is. That's the guard. I mean, that's the forward.
Yeah, it's the big man.
No, it's the guard. It's the guard. Yeah, okay, they got it.
All right, and then Team Detlef is Izan Almanas from G League, Matas Buzelis also from the G League, Ron Hollins from the G League, Mac McClung from the G League.
So they gave Detlef the G League team.
Basically, Tyler Smith from the G League, Oscar Tishwibi from the G League, and Alondis Williams from the G League. So some of them for teams, but they're all for the G League. So I'm just going to say it's the G League team. So Detlef has the G League team. So that could be interesting because I don't think they did it that way before. but it
I know
could be
last year
interesting.
they did add some G League teams in there last year. I forget who
Right, but they
won
didn't have
last
them.
year.
They didn't have them all on one team before,
Right, they
so this is
did.
the
They
first time.
didn't.
Yeah, that they're gonna all be on one team. So we'll see how that specific team thing plays out. Let's see here.
Jalen Brown gonna be in the slam dunk contest,
Yes, he is
and of
trying to
course
get back to.
Matt, Matt McClung gonna got to defend his title.
Hmm. Here we go. So before we get to that, though, the HBCU Classic, Virginia Union and Winston-Salem State are playing in the NBA HBCU Classic. That game will be Saturday, February 17th. I'm looking for the time here, y'all. I had it earlier, but everything froze. So you know how that goes. Yeah, it doesn't have a time, it looks like, on here. I'll find it in a minute here. I know it's earlier in the day, but it's weird that they don't have a time where you can easily locate it. It says it'll be on TNT, ESPN2, and NBA TV, but it doesn't say the time. If I remember from last year, I think it was like 1 or 2. It was earlier in the day.
Okay.
Uh, but I don't see the exact time here, which I find really weird. Let's see. I'll look it up at a different place once I finish the other stuff and tell you guys the exact time for that. Like I said, it has it, but it doesn't have the time, which is really weird. All right. So the next event, of course, will be All-Star Saturday night, which can be fun, can be interesting. This year we got the Steve versus Sabrina 3-point challenge. They're going to do it with an innovative LED court, and they're going to do it from the NBA range. All right, so the Kia Skills Challenge, we got 3 teams still, which I was hoping they would get rid of the teams because I'm really not a fan of the teams. Team 1 is going to be Team Pacers. That's Tyrese Halliburton, Benedict Mathurin, and Miles Turner. Team 2 is Team Top Picks. That's Paolo Banchero from the Orlando Magic, Anthony Edwards from the Timberwolves, and Victor Wembanyama from Spurs. All guys who were top picks in the draft. And then Team 3 will be Team All-Stars. It's going to be Scotty Barnes, Tyrese Maxey, and Trae Young. So all guys that are or formerly were All-Stars. So that we'll see how that works out. Maybe it could be better than last year for sure. Now, when we talk about the Starry 3-point contest, sponsored by Starry, smart sponsorship, you got Malik Beasley from the Bucks, Jalen Brunson from the Knicks, Tyrese Halliburton from the Pacers. Halliburton everywhere, ain't he? Damian Lillard from the Bucks, Lauri Markkanen from the Jazz, Donovan Mitchell from the Cavs, Cat from the Timberwolves, and then Trae Young from the Hawks. Who you got winning that one, Keith? I'm going Dame time on this one. He just shooting. He ain't got to worry about playing no defense or nothing.
Yeah.
I'm going Dame time. This is set up for a guy like that.
Yeah, it does. I'm gonna have to say that too.
All right, so we got Stephen versus Sabrina 3-point challenge. Who you got?
Ooh, Steph or Sabrina?
I'm mad they put it up here. They put Stephen, not Steph. They put Stephen.
Well, that's technically that's not technically his name, but Stephen Curry. I'm gonna be Team Sabrina here. I'm gonna go with an SQ.
Yeah, I gotta go with Steph. Anybody else? I would probably take Sabrina, but I gotta go with Steph. Hopefully they'll expand this challenge. It'll be something that'll stick around, maybe like the top 2 each year or something like that, just for some entry. That would be fun.
But can you imagine if Caitlin Clark comes in next year? Who she gonna shoot up against?
Well, that's why I said they're gonna have to expand it because Caitlin Clark will be in there next year. And then we got the AT&T Slam Dunk Contest. So 4 people. as you said earlier, Jalen Brown, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Mac McClung from the G League, Osceola Magic, and then Jacob Toppin, Obi Toppin's brother.
Interesting.
Who you got?
Um, I'm gonna go with the champ to retain. I think Mac might come out and do something crazy. I think he's gonna win it again.
I'm gonna go with Jalen Brown.
I'm glad. It's good to see a all star in there. Like because he was getting really bored. He was like, "Who are these people? Like, why are you here?" So it's good to see Jalen Brown wanting to step up and do the slam dunk.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And they're going east to west. There's no more picking teams. Thank God.
Yes. And then we did talk about earlier, but the up next game, which is what they're calling the G League game. So basically, they have the 4 teams, and then they have the knockout thing. So that's going to be fun to see as well. All right, and then of course, closing things out, we got the NBA All-Star game. Well, you got to win the NBA All-Star game for the first time in a few years. We can say it's East versus West. And I also want y'all to know that you are still getting things for your favorite charity by quarter. But I also want you to know that they're not keeping up with the quarters, and then you got to get 28 more points or anything. We're going back to actually just playing the whole game. And whoever has the most at the end of the 12 minutes, that's who wins. So excited to see the return to normalcy of the All-Star game.
That's going to be a high scoring game.
Yes,
the way the way today's NBA plays. Give me the West.
Yeah, I'm going with the West too. I'm a Nuggets fan. I'm going with the West. No,
Going with the West.
I'm going with the West.
I don't know. I just feel like the West got a more solid roster than the East. Maybe because Joel's not there, but he is the president. But to see Tyrese Halliburton and Tyrese Maxey there, I don't know. I just like the West. I think the West got a better team.
All right, so we got a couple of comments. So Damien says, "Hey, at this point, I'll take anything than what we have right now." Mo says the buyout market will be lit. Absolutely. He's picking Donovan Mitchell for this 3-point game.
I need Damien to know how to spell, but I figured out what he was saying.
Yes. Speaking of Wemby, for all the Spurs fans who wanted Wemby to get traded, y'all need to slap y'all self and step on Legos barefooted. It's a lot, Damien.
Not Legos barefooted. Pretty much, the MVP. He was like, it shouldn't matter what team you on, because if you on a sucky team, you're not gonna get MVP. I kind of agree. Like MVP, you're the most valuable player for a reason. Who cares what team you on? You still the most valuable player. So I get it.
So Damien says MVP needs to. Not sure what the word is, but the MVP players who play on doo-doo teams shouldn't be stepped over because if they're doing good in stats and balling, they shouldn't be punished because the team suck. It's called MVP, not MVT. So here's my counter argument to the people who say this, and he's not the only one who says this. This is one thing I will say on the other side of things. So how valuable are you if the team still sucks with you playing well?
That's true.
Like we always talk about, like, it shouldn't matter how good the team is doing. It should be about the individual player. But if you're the most valuable player, that means you're the most valuable to your what? Team.
To the team.
So if your team is not good with you, how valuable are you really? And now my argument does say you don't have to be the top team. So you don't have to be the top team. But if you're on the really bad teams, I don't think you should be considered. Now, for instance, a couple of years ago when Jokic won his first MVP, that Nuggets team, it was okay. But you knew if you took him off of that team was not in the 6th seed or the 5th seed. That team was like maybe in the 10th seed. So you could see how valuable he was to that specific team. Now, things like that, I do feel you should take into consideration. Right.
Now, if you like leading the league in scoring on a poopy team,
then we always talk about how when you're on a crap team, You're going to get more opportunities. You're going to have better stats because you have garbage around you. So are we going to take and say, hey, you could be the MVP because you put up great stats on a trash team? Now, make the team better. How about you learn how to help develop those guys around you so that maybe you're a 6th seed, you're a 5th seed, you're a 4th seed, and then you might actually get an MVP.
Okay.
That's how I feel about the whole argument about the MVP thing. You don't have to be the number one team to get it, but you have to make your team better. You have to show how valuable that team is with you. So basically, we top 5, 6 with me. Without me, this team may make the playing game. That's being valuable. But putting up 35 points a game on the second worst team in the NBA.
Oh, like Kate Cunningham.
Yeah, that doesn't make you an MVP. It makes you a guy who knows that there's trash around you and you can take all the shots you want. And that's why you have a good average. I can't support somebody like that being MVP. Personal opinion, that's my opinion.
It's valid, though. I got you.
So, Key, we are at that wonderful time where we will be ending the show. So do you have any shout-outs, any thoughts, any last things that you would like to discuss before we step up out of here for the week?
I don't know if y'all seen Ben Simmons. He said he wanted to start. And he thinks he can contribute. Ben, I don't want to hear this. Your numbers last night was 6 points, 1 assist, and 2 rebounds. If you don't get out of here, he got into it with Jared Allen. And then you got Aiden throwing temper tantrums. I don't know who's worse. Is it Aiden or is it Ben Simmons? I don't know who's softer. I don't know if you miss the softy the ice cream or you the toilet paper like Charmin. I don't know which one you are. I don't know. I just don't get it. But y'all, yeah, I'm going to give it to Ben Simmons. He's the biggest softy of them all. He's 8 tries. So, but yeah, that's my rant.
So I'm gonna give you guys the top 10 power rank teams. So I did promise you some power rankings. So I'm gonna get the top 10 teams real quick. So at number 10, we got the Philadelphia 76ers. Number 9, we have the Phoenix Suns. Number 8, we got the Milwaukee Bucks. Number 7, the New York Knicks. Number 6, the Cleveland Cavs. Number 5, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Number 4, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Number 3, the reigning and defending champions, the Denver Nuggets. Number 2, the Boston Celtics. And at number 1, the LA Clippers. So again, this is their power rankings from NBA.com. So this doesn't necessarily say that this team is here in the rankings. This, as far as record rankings, this is your power rankings. So keep that in mind.
Clippers are the number 1 because they've been playing well.
They have. Keep this in mind. Good people, make sure that you are back with us next week. Hopefully, we will be able to have Con Man back, and hopefully, Keith can still slide through so we can have both of them on. See how things go. So of course, Damon has something else to say. So we're gonna answer him because that's what we do. That's what interaction is all about. So he says, "Why Jokic's NBA considered for MVP? Then they are the backbone of their teams, while everyone slacking reasons Sixers, Mavs, and Nuggets, excluding the championship season, are poo-poo." So the 76ers haven't been poo-poo in a long time. Their problem has been in the playoffs, not the regular season. So that part is not right. When we talk about the Mavs, they haven't been bad since Luka got there, except for last year when they had that crash at the end when they went and got Kyrie. And Denver's been in things since Nikola Jokic has been there. So I don't know where you get their poo-poo from. And if I remember correctly, you're a Bulls fan. Well, you have been poo-poo for a long time. So you will roll in your own sadness of poo-poo.
Almost.
With the
show was almost over without somebody coming saying something. Damn.
So just want to point that out. But Damien, do appreciate you watching. Appreciate you commenting. But sometimes your comments get a little off the wall, Michael Jackson.
He almost made it.
He does not do that, ma'am. So we're going to end things this way for y'all tonight. make sure you tell 2 of your friends and 4 of your enemies to check out the Courtside View on the Sports Wave Network. Just because they don't like you doesn't mean they won't like us. And we're going to see y'all next week. And here's a little something for you. Go check out some of this merchandise. And all I'm going to say, because I am petty, is next week or the next couple of weeks, we should see some Courtside View merchandise up there.